Hi class, Mrs. Calvi here. I'm just going to do a quick review on comparing decimals to each other. So the one thing I like to do is I actually like to line up my numbers or integers, or rational numbers I should say, by decimal point. So I'm going to line them up by decimal point, one on top of the other. And I'm going to go from there, okay? So if I look here and I notice that I have a 2 in my tens place and a 1 in my tens place. Well, I know that 2 is larger than 1. So I don't even need to look at the rest of my digits. I already know that 25.13 or 25 and 13 hundredths is going to be greater than 15.23 or 15 and 23 hundredths. All right, so because my 2 in the tens place was larger than my 1 in the tens place here, I did not need to look at the rest of my digits. Okay, so now I'm looking at this one. I'm going to line them up again by decimal. So I'm lining my decimals up. My first number here is 639 and 4/10, and I'm lining that up with 630 and 5/10. Now I'm going to start all the way to the left. When I'm comparing decimals, I'm starting all the way to the left. I'm looking at my hundreds place. Well, I have 600s, 600s. I can't tell which one is less than or greater than yet. I have 3/10 and 3/10. I still can't figure out which one is less than or greater than yet. So now I'm going to my ones place. I have 9 ones and 0 ones. Well, 9 is greater than 0, so I don't even need to go to my tens place. These are irrelevant now. I already know that 9 is greater than 0. So I know that 639 and 4/10 is going to be greater than 630 and 5/10. Okay, so let's look at these. I'm going to line them up by decimal. So 84.56 or 84 and 56 hundredths. I'm going to line these up. Remember, they have to be lined up by decimal point. So my decimal points have to get lined up, all right? I don't have a digit here, but I can put a placeholder of 0 to help me out. So remember, when we're comparing decimals, we're starting all the way to the left. Here, I can put a placeholder of 0 to help me out. So now I have 0 hundreds and 100. Oh, I don't even need to go any further. I don't need to look at the rest of the digits. I know that 0 is less than 1. So then that's telling me that my 84 and 56 hundredths is going to be less than 169 and 3/10. All right. So line up place value by the decimal point when we're working with decimals. Okay, so let's look at this one. I'm going to line them up by decimal. So I have 234 and 8 hundredths, lining that up with 234 and 80 hundredths. So again, when I compare decimals, I'm starting all the way to the left. 200s, 200s, I can't tell yet. 3/10s, 3/10s, I can't tell yet. 4/1s, 4/1s, I still cannot tell yet. 0/10, 8/10. Well, 0 is less than 8, so I know that 234 and 8 hundredths is going to be less than 234 and 80 hundredths. All right, let's try one more. Okay, so let's look at these two. This is a good one that students tend to get confused about. So again, I'm going to line them up by decimal. So 9 and 18 hundredths. Line it up with 9 and 184 thousandths. All right. So I am going to start from the left. My ones place, I have a 9 and a 9. I can't tell yet. In my tenths place, I have a 1 and a 1. Can't tell yet. My tenths place, I have an 8 and an 8. Can't tell yet. Here, I could have put a placeholder. I could have put a 0 there to help me out. 0 hundredths compared to 4 hundredths. Well, 0 is less than 4. So I know that 9 and 18 hundredths is going to be less than 9 and 184 thousandths. Many students think that because this goes out to more more place values, it goes out to the hundredths, this one does not, that this is automatically going to be greater. In this case, yes, it is, but that's not always the case, okay? It's not always the case, so just make sure you don't make that mistake. All right, I will talk to you soon.